It's such an honor to stand before you today as the president of the yearbook class on a day that holds so much meaning to not just me, but to all of us gathered here. This event marks the climax of our final year journey, and it's more than just a celebration. It's a moment of reflection for us, a pause to recognize how far we've come as a class, and to honor what lies ahead of us. Looking back on the years, from 2017 and 2018, as some of us resumed into the University of Lagos, when many of us began this journey, one thing stands out clearly for us: resilience. This class has grown in tenacity like no other. We have withered storms, ASU strikes, the pandemic, clinical pressures, exams that has tested not just our minds, but our willpower, and yet we're still here. More than that, as a class, we are thriving, and now we are preparing to graduate together as a class, which is the most important of it all. Our class name, Elysium, was not just chosen slightly, it's a legacy of hope, and indeed, we will be remembered for that. For the strength we have showed, for the excellence we have pursued, and for the legacy we are leaving behind, not just in the pages of a yearbook, but in the hearts of our juniors coming after us, which we've done by donating a 6.5 kVA inverter to the cold room. We are showing them what's possible, even in uncertainty. That's the true definition of hope. Personally, this journey has meant more to me than I can express. Being the class president has been one of the most profound roles that I've ever held. It opened me up to people, not just in the classroom. It opened me up to people, not just in the classroom, but I've sat with people in their lows and met people in different dimensions as a class. I've planned with sleepless nights to make this day possible, and with a full heart and through it all, I'm deeply grateful to every person who has trusted me to lead and who lets me walk beside them. Thank you for allowing me to be there for you. This event is not just a gathering as a climax for our final year, it's a statement of what the class values and the kind of future we are shaping. Our theme, money and meaning, was not chosen lightly. How to build wealth and make impact in medicine couldn't be more timely and relevant in the time that we are in now. As we step into the world of medicine, we're not just aiming to survive as a class, we are preparing to thrive, to do meaningful work, and yes, also to build lives that are full, stable, and sustainable. The idea that purpose and prosperity must be separate is no longer valid for us. We are choosing both at the same time. And I'm confident that years to come, I will look back and see members of this class doing incredible things, breaking barriers, leading change, and making real impact across the field of medicine.
Yes, very well. I believe so much that the medical field still offers so much financial freedom today. But I think that one of the things that is just lacking from those who have gone ahead of us most times is the financial literacy. Many persons are not financially literate. Yes. And I think that's the gap today's symposium is trying to bridge.
It gives me immense joy and pride to stand before you today, one as your lecturer and a mentor. This class in particular, I don't think we had so much of physical contact. Most of the contact we had was online to give the lectures, because of COVID and then other things, strike, ASU strike. But I've watched all of you grow from curious, sometimes very uncertain, particularly because of the situations that we found ourselves in those periods. Now into confident, capable young doctors that you're becoming, getting ready to take your place in the world of medicine. And firstly, I want to commend the organizing committee, ably led by Abimbola Ogunbadejo Hikmat, I call her. This group are so committed and very tenacious. In fact, when I was approached, I asked them, I said, who asked you to come and meet me? But because they were so persistent, I said, okay, don't worry. I'll come on board. So now we thank God that today has come to be. Today's theme, money and meaning, how to build wealth and find purpose in medical and dental profession, I think is both timely and profound. It invites reflection on how to build not just successful careers, but fulfilled lives. Medicine, as you know by now, demands much time, it demands patience, emotional strength, and sacrifice. You have given this freely in pursuit of knowledge and excellence. And yes, it is right to desire that your labor be rewarded. You deserve comfort, recognition, and financial stability. But let us remember, money sustains your living, meaning sustains your calling. A truly wealthy doctor is one who balances prosperity with purpose, who earns well but also lives well, serving humanity with compassion and integrity. Wealth that lacks meaning soon becomes hollow, but wealth rooted in purpose, in adding value, in saving lives, in uplifting others, becomes enduring. As you step into this next chapter of your professional journey, pursue excellence for mastery in your craft, attract both respect and reward. Be financially literate, for wise management of resources gives freedom to serve better. Stay grounded in empathy, because no machine, no title, no technology can replace the human touch. You will meet challenges, ethical dilemmas, economic pressures, and the weight of expectations. But through it all, hold on to the values that this great college, College of Medicine Idiaraba, University of Lagos, the University of First Choice and Nation's Pride, has instilled in you. Values like diligence, integrity, excellence, humility, and compassion. These are the true foundations of both wealth and meaning. The speakers today all have one thing in common, because I know quite a lot of them, and that is rendering quality medical services in all the places of their calling. The College of Medicine, University of Lagos, and the nation's pride has equipped you with knowledge. Now go and apply it with wisdom. Use your skills not just to earn, but to uplift. Seek not only success, but significance. And so, my dear class of 2023, I'm proud of all of you. In fact, all the arrangements, the organization is top notch. And I'm so happy for you for how far you have come and all that lies ahead. May your careers bring prosperity, your service bring purpose, and your lives reflect both money and meaning. Congratulations, and may God bless you all.
I feel like every medical professional should find a way to balance, making money off like his or her passion. Because I feel like that's also important in ensuring that long term you have that internal fulfillment, long term you're happy, and it also even affects like the level of patient care that you'd give.
As much as medicine is a science, medicine is also a business. If you are not able to balance these two aspects of this profession, you will not get the best out of it. Medicine offers purpose, but many doctors still feel the financial pressure. And these days, there's a lot of burnout that's going on in the medical profession. And it really comes from a lot of us not fully understanding what medicine is all about. Now, in a few years back, there was a study just in 2024, or if you read Medscape, you will see physician lifestyle happiness reports and so many questions that the doctors were asked about how healthy is your diet, how many times do you exercise, how much money do you consider as enough, are you fulfilled in your profession, are you able to prioritize more time for personal and family apart from profession? These have become very important questions for physicians and indeed surgeons these days. Gone were those days that surgeons and physicians were seen as invincible, being able to do everything, not minding the situation, taking every call, sitting in the hospital from morning to night and having no other life. But I tell you that this present day, there is a lot of balancing that needs to be done. So, as we talk about money and meaning, we have to realize that physician burnout and job dissatisfaction is at its highest level in these times, in this century. Physician dissatisfaction, when you go and look at many studies that looked at how physicians have been able, have expressed their dissatisfaction with their duties, you'll find out that in most studies, it's actually higher than 50%. And most of it has been around the work hours that physicians pass. It's been through what physicians earn and how they are able to balance their work and their life. And it is now coming out. Of course, we can see one of us who, for the first time, I'm hearing someone really singing medicine. So you must know, like a gentleman here said, that there are other skills and there are other outlets in you apart from sitting down and treating patients from morning to night. A few other people will also know that as a person, I do a lot of other things apart from medicine. So it has come to a time where we need to be able to balance our work and our life. We need to be able to balance the meaning. Most of us came into medicine because of a desire to help patients, desire to get people well, desire to take care of the sick. And also in doing that, we also need to make money. We need to make a living. We need to be able to appropriately be compensated for the work that we do. And I'm going to say today that success stands on two major things. Number one is achievement. That is external success. What are the dimensions? What do you feel that you have accomplished? And it also stands on the second leg, fulfillment. Fulfillment is internal success. This represents how you feel about what you have achieved. So you must be able to make sure that your career, you are able to achieve your desired milestones. You are able to have financial stability. You are able to get your professional recognition, and you are able to have tangible results. Now, it is not only achievement, you must also have that internal sense of fulfillment. That having done all this, you can tell yourself that you have gotten to the place where you desired to go. So, two most important dimensions of success are achievement and fulfillment. And these two are very essential for having a satisfying career. Those are two major important things in life. We want to be successful. We also want to have a fulfilled life. And that's what this particular topic brings out. To be able to have a successful and a meaningful career. So this is really all about all what we work about. I wish I had some of these teachings when I was just leaving med school, but over the years I've had to learn it, and I hope that the graduating class appreciate the value of what they have gotten today, because it's if they can follow those steps, the sky is the limit for them.
The first and most important, which unfortunately is not taught in medical school, is the habit of investing. The truth is that graduating as a doctor if you look at it in the civil service, you are somewhere at the top of the ladder in terms of what you earn in the public service. And the problem is that a lot of doctors have not learnt the habit of being able to multiply the earnings that they get. So being able to build that habit very early is going to help you on the long run in terms of building wealth, in terms of also holding on and keeping the money that you earn during your journey and during your profession.
Dr. Adekunle has built high foundation from the ground up when private practice was relatively rare. So what practical first steps should a young doctor take today if they want to start a sustainable private practice on health business?
I would say that you need to have a plan. That's very important, and you need to set out at the right time. It has to be a perfect combination of a good business plan and a good medical plan, I would say. That is that you must be at a point where you are a competent physician or surgeon. Because if you are not, then you might have to just wait to be able to get that adequate experience to be able to handle a variety of cases. So I think basically you need a strong plan.
When you talk about money, that medical profession is not about money making. But I tell you, medical profession, just like other profession, is a business. You have to look at your patients as your clients. At the same time, you think of rendering quality services, because that is what will fulfill the purpose and that is the meaning. So the two have to be balanced. So the fact that one is a medical profession does not mean that one cannot make money. And the only way you can do that, as we have heard today, is adding value to yourself, adding value to the services that you provide. And in whatever specialization you'll find yourself, then you have to stand out. And when you stand out, money will actually chase you, not you running after money. So that's it. So being a medical doctor is not a license to poverty. That's what we're trying to say. When you see it as a business, you run it as a business, then you'll be wealthy.
Dr. Onakoya, as someone who's led multiple hospitals, what are the top 3 non-clinical skills we should pick up, we should have at this stage of our lives?
At this stage of your career, I will answer that question by looking at now, soon, and then later. I think at this stage of your career, rather than me saying what are the 3 things you need to focus on, at this stage of your career, to be honest, I can think of only one thing that you should focus on, and that is adding value to yourself. MBBS makes you extremely proud. I think that what you should focus on at this very early stage is, how do I add value to myself? What value do I want to add? And how? Add value to yourself. Some other person who has just added value to himself in the form of further education, further certification, charges 1 million naira for that same procedure. So what you should concentrate on doing now is add value in terms of further education, in terms of direction, in terms of improving yourself. There is a book, since really one of the things you should be doing at this stage is also reading widely. There is a book I will recommend that you all read in your leisure. That book was written by a man called Daniel Pink. The name of the book is Drive. And he says that it is not money that motivates people. I know that what we are supposed to tell you is how to make money. But that at the end of the day, what will give a professional satisfaction. He mentions three things, but to directly answer the question I've been asked, one of those three things is mastery. That for you to be recognized in whatever sphere of life you find yourself, as a doctor in this instance, you must have mastery of whatever it is you do. And that is the same thing as you must be determined to practice your craft at the topmost level. The reason why you have asked Professor Mrs. Onokoya to be your matron, you have asked Dr. Hassan to be the guest speaker. Dr. Hassan has sent Dr. Oberilo, and you have assembled this panel, is because each and every one of them has achieved mastery in what they do. They have added value to that MBBS. We will talk about the other two things if I have the opportunity, which is achieve mastery, add value to yourself. The MBBS just confirms that you are educable. Get that education. Once you do, you'll be surprised how easy it is for money to chase you. You won't be the one chasing money. Money will be chasing you. Thank you.
Whatever you're doing in life, it is very, how should I put it? It is very, very important that you give value. And when you give value, that is you finding meaning with what you're doing, and also making money while doing it.
I strongly believe that in order for you to build wealth in whatever profession that you find yourself in, you need to create value, and find like a very unique skill set. And once you do that, whether as a physician, whether as a surgeon, and in other aspects of your life, I believe that you will be able to make money and build wealth as a medical or dental professional.
Good afternoon, Dr. Cherry. So you've built a clinic and a brand with strong personal identity. What's one specific branding move a young doctor can make today to stand out in a crowded field?
Okay, so first off, to answer the question, I would say that the most important thing anybody would have in this life is your capital. Now, your capital is not money, your capital is yourself. Just like Dr. Nokaya has said, you have to add value. And that value is not just certification. Your social media, when you're scrolling, what kind of podcast do you listen to? What kind of information do you consume on a daily? Because as we are now, we consume information in micro milliseconds. What kind of information do you consume? And if you think that it's not affecting you, it's affecting you. So whatever you read, the kind of, at some point in my life, I did a social media cleanse. By cleanse, I mean, I unfollowed anybody that I don't like the way they are sounding. I followed people that I like their podcasts. I follow people that post things, their captions. You have to be intentional, very, very intentional about the kind of information that you consume. Of course, you can go ahead and get some certifications and all of that, but the everyday information that you acquire is a part of your life. It shapes your subconscious, the way you talk, the way you network. Another thing I'm going to say is networking. So when I graduated from University of Ibadan, I knew I had to move, so I changed my environment. So you have to check if you need to change your environment, because changing your environment, both physically and mentally, and your type of friends, the type of acquaintances that you have, will impact your life. I know you've heard it so many times. It's not cliche, it's a fact. If you're in a table where 6 people or 5 people are planning business, talking business, I tried to get a COO for my business, you start thinking, oh, there's something like COO. because you change your environment. You have to be intentional. There is no dilly-daddling about life. You have to be intentional with the kind of content that you consume. Make intentional moves to improve your life by getting certification, and of course, be in the right environment.
Right. So with career growth, purpose, personal well-being, there always needs to be a balance. You need to also prioritize other aspects of your life, like your family, like your health, and where you find that your job is taking a bit more time than the other areas, you may need to just, try and rearrange those priorities. Sometimes, especially in the medical profession, it's very demanding, but we do need to be very conscientious and very intentional about creating time for other things so that they don't suffer at the end of the day. So it's about planning. You need to plan your time as much as possible and make sure that you allocate time for the things that are also important. Things like your loved ones, things like health checks, things like making sure you eat healthily and get enough sleep. Yes. So it's important to balance that with work as well, studying and other aspirations that we may have.
There is something called balance, and in life you have to balance things. In as much as you want to make money, you want to be a good dentist, you also have to balance it with things like family, friends, relationships, and you have to balance it well. Like our speakers earlier have spoken, that there is not too small, it's not too late, it's not too early to start to save, to invest, to build the future that you are planning for yourself. Whatever money it is that you make now is what determines the kind of future and fulfillment that you will find.
You started POD clinics very young, and it has grown very fast. One of the top dental clinics in Lagos, and you've done an amazing job. You've not even spent up to 10 years since you started your private practice. So, looking back now, what early decision or choice helped you, get where you are now? From being a clinician to being an employer who employs people, who is now managing different aspects of his business.
Yeah, to address that question, to be honest, I think a lot of people misinterpret experience by only time and not exposure. So you think, oh, under 10 years, you shouldn't have done much. But what have you been exposed to? I'll give you an example. A dentist who has done 100 extractions, 100 surgical extractions in 3 months, and one who has done 100 of the same procedure in 2 years. I would prefer the one who has done in 3 months, because not only has the person developed precision, he has developed speed over time. Now, I'm not saying the time is not there. The truth is the time will always elapse for all of us, whether we like it or not. At some point, you would hang your boots and everything, but what are you exposed to? Some people have it early in life where they are exposed to a lot of things. So, first thing is, I'm grateful for the exposures I've had. Before setting up my own clinic, I've also been a junior partner before. I've also been an administrator for clinics before. And the truth is, I wouldn't be in that position if I wasn't someone of value. You need to learn something. And then each place I worked, I tried to understand the business. Now, we understand the challenges of schooling and everything, but we have to admit one fact here. Our training has its limitations. You are taught the art, you are taught the science, you are not taught the business, you are not taught how to sell. Now, the truth is this, I don't expect the school to teach you everything. There are things you need to go and learn outside. There are some things you will pay for to learn, and there are some things you need to interact with people. So I'm actually portraying what everybody's saying. You need to be with some people that would expose you. It was when I started working at some clinics, I saw that there were implants, there were zirconia crowns. In my place of schooling, it's only acrylic denture, we know. You understand? And it's not because it's bad, but at least you get your degree to know that you can be trained. It doesn't end there. So just when you think you've been through everything, you've come out, you realize in this field, medicine, dentistry, it is rapidly evolving. And the only way to maintain standard is to keep raising it. If you don't step up, you will step out. Like, you will diminish. If you don't keep adding to yourself, you will wither off. You'll be surprised that the people who are doing PFM crowns for anterior teeth now, most people won't want to go for it anymore. I hope you understand. So You need to be exposed. And the truth is this, you don't need to be in a rush. Forget that my growth maybe have been fast by your own opinion, but you need to learn. You will put the money aside at a point first and understand the business. There are aspects to this. Dentistry is a real estate business. Dentistry is a finance business. Dentistry is a tech business. Whereas many people at your training, at your undergraduate, you're only taught is a healthcare business. No. There's a whole lot more to dentistry than just teeth. A whole lot more. So you need to get that exposure first. Now, the part where I will advise you guys to key into is, they say follow who know road. You need to know who your mentors are. You need to look for people and say, you know what, I want to work in this line. So find a good mentor, because success is not entirely built. You will need someone successful to pull you up there.
You need to first build capacity within yourself. So it is until you are good enough, then people become attracted to you. Everybody here is going to be a dentist, whether they like it or not. But you need to add value to yourself that places you at an advantage. For instance, I am at this symposium not because I'm a dentist. I'm at this symposium because I'm an entrepreneur and I'm also an implantologist. So you need to add value to yourself. As you get good at your work, people will always refer people to you. People will be attracted to you.